It's your boy, Queso Big Dipper.
All that drip that she been putting on just to take it off. I can put you on a plane, the CPA go right up.
And today, we are reacting to J. Cole announcing the fall off with a whole trailer, as any classic album usually should have. And yes, I did use that classic word. Listen, as you can tell, I have a lot to say about this. But before I do, I need you to hit that thumbs up button because the video has a 5,000 thumbs up goal. And let's get to, I gotta put my headphones in, I forgot. And let's get to work. I know, before I even click on this, I know a lot of people off rips is mad at J. Cole about this Kendrick Lamar and Drake album. I mean, beef. And, you know, I was very, very hard on Cole about how he played that No Diddy. But ultimately, he still is, let's say, third of a generation. And his impact is still very important. And I'm not going to, just discount his entire, discography or legacy because of that moment. Now, will it be a blemish? Bet you patootie it will be. But we gotta give Cuz a chance. That's the only way it's gonna make sense is if we listen to what the fall off is. But let me just click on this. Hold on, man. Y'all, I'm locked in. Hit the thumbs up on my bad, y'all. I'm finna spoil whole reaction.
Everything is supposed to go away eventually. You see this especially in show business with famous actors or musicians. And it's oh, this guy used to be famous and then he fell off. What happened? And they want to point to, they did this and they made some sort of mistake.
That's very interesting that Cole angles it like this. You know, Queso Big Dipper has spent some years in this industry and by proxy of Screw and shit like that, I've always had some kind of connection to this since I was a little kid, right? And I've gotten game and information on this industry. And one thing I've learned about this industry is the importance, and if you pay attention, how consistent marketing is. And you notice that you always need an angle. You always need a spin. And if you have the right angle, if you have the right spin, you can spin your way out of a bad situation. Well, Cole, whether the biggest J. Cole fan himself would admit that J. Cole is not in a favorable position. And even maybe favorable, because, niggas be stans. Let's not say favorable. Let's say, based off of the momentum J. Cole had before all of this, coming into the fall off, this is not the same momentum. And we can all agree upon that. But what he can do, which is smart angling, and I'm noticing, is go, hey, nigga, I'm about to dip. Don't forget, this is the farewell tour. And it is very fair because a lot of niggas are going to retroactively act like J. Cole didn't plan for the fall off. The fall off was going to happen before or after, no matter what he said at his festival. The fall off was going to drop. He had his series. This was how he's going to play it. He was going to retire. Now, whether he's going to come back, Queso, as the hip hop head I am, come on, nigga. You know, how many times Hov retired? Niggas come back, that's how I be. How many times Hulk Hogan retired? How many times Ric Flair retired? These niggas can come back and they always get that itch because they always have that, like a true MC. Somebody really loves this. Okay. So they're going to act like J. Cole is retiring because of how he's perceived after the bat. No, he's not. This was always a plan, so he has to remind us. And like I was saying, with an entertainer, it is a very tricky thing that happens when you don't know when to leave the club, when you don't know when that last dance is for you, because the thing about the club is it doesn't ever close. There will always be a new up-and-coming artist, a new up-and-coming movement and vibe and energy shaping and shifting the culture of whatever it is you do in entertainment. But eventually we won't want to hear from you anymore. That's how it used to be. I also have the argument that with acts like LeBron James, with acts like Hov, with acts like that. When you're that good for that long, nigga, we want to see it, baby. Ain't no time. I'm sad when I think about LeBron about to retire, nigga dropping 38 on these niggas' head tops. But LeBron said, I'm not trying to ever come off the bench. Allen Iverson wouldn't ever come off the bench. So when Allen Iverson's play slipped from being what it was, it shortened his career. Because Cuz wouldn't come off the bench. And so AI's legacy doesn't end as illustriously as a Kobe Bryant's. And because of that, I think as generations and generations go on, people will forget who this nigga Allen Iverson is. Not that they'll forget him, but they'll forget how much of that nigga he was and how much he shaped and bended the culture. Well, this is J. Cole's Allen Iverson moment. Well, this is the moment where J. Cole, if he plays this album wrong, if Cole rolls this record out wrong, this is the moment where we might start forgetting how this nigga shaped the culture when he was shaping the culture. And we'll start forgetting the like young Cole run when you could see he was the label and industry darling. And then you saw the almost like I am a mainstream artist, but I am independent rollout that Cole went on. When the nigga started biking and doing all, and we watched the transition and progression of him. And we watched him as he dealt with the mental conflict being not Drake and not Kendrick was, and then you had that like middle child arc, and then after that, it's such a beautiful story if you've been paying attention. After that, Cole finds himself and finds what it is, because we've been fucked with Cole, but it's about Cole. Cole, you could tell, finds his pocket, and that's when Cole starts popping off at the mouth. Cole was the best ever, best of all time. He starts putting new acts on. You could feel it. And then we know what happens. Eventually, the talking and talking and talking, niggas didn't like that. And somebody challenged what you said, and you backed out like a punk ass bitch. I will give that to that moment. I'm not calling J. Cole a punk ass bitch, but that action was some punk ass bitch shit for shit show. And so you backed out like that, and you have your reasons. And as a man, I can always respect a man having his own reasons. And I will never really be mad at you. Like if I saw J. Cole, I wouldn't be like, you did it. But like in my heart, I'm sitting in there and be like, yeah, cuz you definitely was on some hoe shit, but it's okay. I've been jumped before, nigga. I've been jumped before. And in retrospect, it's like, man, probably should have ran. My big goofy ass thought I'm about to beat up all these niggas. I did it. I lost. That's just, but sometimes you take your L and you live with it. You tell your story later. Cole wasn't ready to take that. So those of us who have taken ass whoopings, we didn't really respect it. And we'll never respect it, Cole. But it is very important to see how he plays this because this is a legacy moment.
Instead of thinking that, look, it's kind of crazy they got famous in the first place. So few people reach that level that, yes, of course, it's not going to last forever because somebody else has to take that spot. And that's how show business has been since
the
forever.
Nature of the beast.
But no, they always want to say, oh, that guy fell off. They want to look down on him for just going through the natural cycle of rising and falling.
And it's the natural cycle of rising and falling. I wonder how much of the fall off J. Cole himself is going to produce. Next month?
Young Puss playing war games, he wanted love, but he only made more pain. Picture my soul climbing out an infinite hole when niggas die over pride and live for the.
That felt like, hey, it felt like he's gonna be addressing some shit. I also feel like, you know what? I don't care what nobody says. I loved 7 Minute Drill. I liked it. That was how Cole did it. If y'all niggas ain't like how Cole rap, see, I grew up on J. Cole. Screw put me on to J. Cole in, I was in 6th grade. No, I was wrestling. I was in 7th grade. And I used to listen to the warm-up. I used to jump my fence and walk to my middle school. And before wrestling meets, there'd be early as shit, like 5, 6 in the morning. You have to get there and like weigh in and shit like that. Even though in middle school, I don't know if you weighed in, but you still went early. And he put me on to, and he had that song, I'm Losing My Balance, and the warm-up. And then he had that song where he, not Power Trip. This is actually the original version of Power Trip. Niggas don't know that Power Trip is a continuation of this story. It's, oh my God, I can't remember. It might be not losing my balance, but that project, I think it's the warm-up. One of the greatest mixtapes of all time. Queso's gonna be here as the House of Hip Hop. That's what this is. That's what this channel is. I'm gonna be here to document this. And I know a lot of niggas, I might have like been cool off J. Cole, but I will give Cole this. He without sin throw the first stone. We've all made mistakes. I've done shit that in my life I've been like, man, I should have did this better. Man, that was some whole shit. I shouldn't have done that. Man, oh damn, I didn't even think about it like how it's gonna be. And I say everybody is going to take a mistake. And this isn't even necessarily shooting a nigga bail. It's just honest to God. I got homies that done fucked up before that are still my homies. It's just, that's how life goes. But I will never act like he didn't mess up. But we gonna live on and we're gonna watch as this story progresses. This was Certified Vibe Check. Hit that thumbs up button. I just seen J. Cole dropped his first song off the fall off, so you know that's coming. KBD family, love y'all, salute. That's next. Not even coming. Just right there.